Today we're going to be doing the fire sign readings. Fire signs. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And of course, I'll be using my waterproof deck. It is a plastic deck. I love the way that it shuffles. I love using these cards. They have a really interesting smell. And of course, over on the members side of the channel, I'll be doing some crystal scrying after the general tarot readings with this piece of obsidian. You are cordially invited, but your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. So let's get started with the sign of Aries. And Aries, if you would, just kind of gently relax, allow some free association to occur in your thoughts. Maybe focus on your breathing and then see from there what kind of things come out. Hi, Maria. Thank you for coming. It's so good to see you. So, Aries, if you would like, go ahead and set your intention for the reading. And I will deal out the cards. Okay. And I will document my timestamp, which is 3:20. Here in the past, Aries, we have the Seven of Cups, and it's showing up reversed. So there might have been a period in the past for you where you had all of these different options open. Some of them being good, some of them being bad. But just that you had a lot of different opportunities that were available to you. You might have had aspirations as well. The Seven of Cups can sometimes speak to those aspirations as potential outcomes. Here in the current situation, we have the Two of Pentacles showing up in the upright, so you're bringing something into balance. It could also be about a business partnership forming. And this is crossed by the Queen of Swords. So speaking the truth and speaking your truth in a situation is bringing everything into balance for you at this time. This might have had to do, Aries, with narrowing down some of these options for yourself down to something more reasonable. So not just speaking the truth, but speaking the truth to yourself, being realistic. Here in the Imam Sili, we have the Nine of Swords showing up reversed. And we can see here this woman with her head in her hands. I'd be crying too if I had to sleep under all of these swords. Emotional turmoil and distress are represented by this card. But where this card is showing up in the reverse, I think at this time you are working through that emotional turmoil and you're on the other side of it. That you're not as stressed, you're not anxious about things, even if there are things that you could be feeling anxious about. From your perspective, we have the Empress. She's showing up in the reverse. So the Empress is a Venus card, can be associated therefore with Taurus or with Libra. The Empress has all of this wheat down at the bottom. She's the divine passive and represents fertile proliferation in the major arcana, just as the Queen of Pentacles represents that fertile proliferation in the minor arcana. Where the Empress is showing up in the reverse like this, you might be feeling like things should come to you easily, but they are not. Because the Empress is the divine passive, she receives things. That's why she's sitting here comfortably upon this throne. And additionally, you could be feeling like things should be coming in easily to you, but they aren't at this time. Not that you're worried about it, but this is also contrasted with the past when it looks like you had many more options open. From an outside person's perspective in the current situation, we have the Three of Swords. So people might perceive that there's argument, that there's disagreement at this time, Aries, for you, or that disagreement is starting with you somehow. It is important for you to speak your truth, of course, because I think that's going to be what brings a lot of these things into balance. But of course, that has the potential to cause turmoil with others. So just bear that in mind. Here in the future, we have the Sun. The Sun is Leo's card. Well, it's associated with the planet, of course, or the luminary body, rather, the Sun. And therefore associated with Leo. It indicates a very positive outcome and success. And that is in the immediate future for you. It is in the upright, and so does indicate that success will be coming in for you. Sorry, I had to text my roommate. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Page of Swords in the upright. And this is about gaining information. It's juxtaposed against the Empress. And this is a card about, feeling like things should be coming to you easily. So maybe you're hoping to get information as to why that's not the case at this time. I do think you have a lot of that information already available to you. Remember, the Queen of Swords is the progression of that page energy. These are the two passive sword court cards, element of earth and element of water, respectively. But you could be hoping to pull down that information based on what you're sensing in your gut and make it concrete. Here in the midheaven, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. So this is going to be based on where we have letting go of anxieties and nightmares in the current situation. This King of Pentacles is a potential energy. So as it gets closer, it could be that it turns into this stability, a very Taurian energy, air of earth energy, so well balanced. Like we were seeing here, that things are starting to come into balance. However, it does look like that is somewhat removed at this particular stage. However, in the immediate future, we do have the Sun card that indicates success. Here in the final outcome, we have the King of Wands. So this is the advice for you that you will need to lead by charisma first before you can have this stability, perhaps, or in order to solidify this success. May also help you in discovering this information, and most of all, where we have this Three of Swords, that is other people's perspectives. Oh, Obsidian. It actually didn't work out with that job. I had mentioned some things in previous videos, but yeah. But thank you for the support. I do appreciate that. So to avoid this kind of conflict, try being more charming, Aries. This is more like an air of fire energy. So a quick moving energy, a very active energy, taking an active participating part rather than kind of waiting for things to come to you and not understanding why they don't come to fruition. That is going to conclude the Aries reading for this week. Thank you. I am going to go now and do the Leo reading next. Being very unprofessional today in texting. But that's okay. I'll do the time skip. All right, Leo. So if you would, just kind of gently relax. Focus on your breath. And allow any thoughts or ideas to rise up to the forefront of your mind, and just wait there while I shuffle a bit. And then If you would like to go ahead and set an intention for the reading, we have the Fool jump out. This is going to go in the place of the significator, the place of the significator. Okay. So Leo, you have a few major arcana cards in your reading this week. A lot of swords. Here in the past, we have the Hierophant, and it is reversed. This could be the end of a marriage for some of you. It could be, leaving behind traditional things, leaving behind traditional values, perhaps leaving behind a spiritual organization also. All of those things are possibilities. Here in the current situation, we have the Fool card, which jumped out, and it's crossed by the Two of Swords. So the Fool is the very beginning of this journey through the major arcana, and has to do with moving forward without any preconceived notions, total purity of spirit and thought. Not that you wouldn't have impure thoughts necessarily, but just that you're starting with a blank slate. This is pure elemental air energy and associated with the planet Uranus, and also with Aquarian energy, but only as an accessory to that air energy. And that crossing energy of the Two of Swords. Now that you have the opportunity to move forward completely unfettered, you might be given an opportunity to choose a path. And so this Two of Swords is going to represent your making that choice, Leo. Here in the Imam Silai, we have the King of Swords. And this is going to be the foundation upon which future events will be constructed. So this King of Swords is somebody who is able to navigate morally gray areas. So a departure from the Hierophant, for sure. The King of Swords can also be associated with Libra energy, and sometimes I consider it an analog of the Justice card in the Minor Arcana. So can have a balancing attribute as well. The King of Swords can be an air sign person. From your perspective, Leo, bringing the strength, this is your energy in the Major Arcana, and this is one of the individuals in the tarot deck who has this lemniscate over their head. This represents their infinite source of power that they are able to use in this particular case to tame this lion, whereas the magician is using that infinite source of power to manifest I apologize, that is precious. From an outside person's perspective, looking in on the situation, we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is about being trapped, or seeming like one is trapped. And so at this time, people looking in on your situation from the outside might perceive you as being trapped at this time, or as being bogged down by details that maybe they wouldn't be bogged down by themselves. That is also possible. Others around you might perceive you as feeling helpless at this time and feel like they can see the way that you would be able to make it through a situation. That's not necessarily an accurate reflection, though. I do apologize. It is a little bit noisy, and people are out there honking their horns, and the dogs are barking and stuff. But I have to have my window open so I can run my AC. Here in the future, we have the Six of Swords upright. There's going to be some kind of trip, some kind of journey. Could be a relocation. It's departing to go somewhere new. And these figures here probably know where they're going. It is not as much like the Eight of Cups where you're leaving something behind. Notice that they are bringing the Six Swords with them in the boat. Your hopes and fears. We have the Six of Wands. You're hoping that this display of strength in the current situation will bring in victory for you, Leo. In the midheaven, we do have the Page of Pentacles, which could be a new job offer. It could be a new offer that will help you bring in material resources and make them concrete in your own existence. And that is going to be a result of this King of Swords here. So maybe this King of Swords as air sign energy could be a Libra. Or it could just be that being able to navigate the current situation with moderation and being able to use your discernment in a fine-tuned way is going to lead to situations where you're able to have access to this. That is a possibility. The final outcome is kind of like the advice for the reading, and it is juxtaposed against where others might perceive you as being a little helpless or trapped in this situation. And I think the advice is to go ahead and let the tower fall, because really nothing that catastrophic is going on in this reading. That might be the choice that you're being presented with at this time. And of course, we do have the Fool on that precipice, getting ready to fall. Whatever situations you're kind of trying to hold on to, perhaps, it might be time to let them go. And that might be what we're seeing here in the future, is you letting go of things from the past. Although the Eight of Cups, as I mentioned, would be a much more definitive card in that respect. The Six of Swords is more that you are heading out for new horizons. And so it's not as much about the letting go of the old as it is about bringing in new energies. Whereas the Tower is very much about like clearing out in a very destructive way old energies to make room for something new. The Tower is Mars energy and is somewhat associated with sign of Aries and the sign of Scorpio through that connection. So that is going to conclude the Leo reading for this week. I feel like the air sign or the fire sign readings are kind of fast today. I hope that's all right. Hope that's all right with you. So now we are going to do the Sagittarius reading. Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, if you would just take some breaths. And kind of clear your mind. Allow any associated thoughts that you have. Just kind of like play a game of free association. Sometimes things that don't seem connected at a certain time, you look back on them later and you realize that they were actually very connected. And if you would like, Sagittarius, you may set an intention for the reading. And I will shuffle the cards or deal them out. Here we go. And I'm going to mark down your timestamp. Okay. So starting here in the past, Sagittarius, there was a 10 of Pentacles closure to a cycle. And that is over. This could have been an inheritance, and now the inheritance has been spent through or reinvested. This could have been a very lucrative job that you no longer hold, or some source of income that was very lucrative and stabilizing that you are now leaving in the past. Here in the current situation, Sagittarius, we have the Lover's card, which speaks to duality. This is your opposing sign, Gemini, their card in the major arcana. We also have Aries card, which is the Emperor crossing. So the Lover's card can be about choices. It can be, these would be choices between ways of life, like the profane and the sacred, high and low magic, black and white magic. We speak about these things in terms of duality, but really the Lover's card is about reconciling things that are polarized, and thus can sometimes be about romantic relationships and the give and take there. The Emperor card crossing is that you, Sagittarius, are taking control in the situation. Now, the card is upright, so it is implied that it is for the best that you are taking control in a situation. It is not that you are being fascist in any way by doing so. Down here in the Imam Sili, we have Aquarius's card in the Major Arcana. You have a lot of Major Arcana cards coming out in your reading as well, Sagittarius. We have the Star card, and the Star has to do with your hopes and dreams being fulfilled. So at this time, perhaps this situation set you up for these hopes and dreams to be fulfilled. Likewise, there may be choices or love associated with that. Taking control. The Star card can also be a reference to social situations and pouring your emotional energies into those social situations and that contributing to your hopes and dreams being fulfilled. Here, from your perspective, Sagittarius, we have your Major Arcana card of Temperance coming out. That you are using moderation and practice and skill at this time in the current situation, perhaps to maintain this control. There needs to be that balance struck. We do have on the Lover's card the Angel, and then again on the Temperance card the Angel. So perhaps you are also tapping into divine messages. You might be appealing to certain angels in particular as well, depending on your religious affiliation. If not angels, they could just be higher vibrational energies and entities, the kinds of which might act as intermediary messengers between yourself and Source. From an outside person's perspective, looking in on the situation, we have the Ten of Swords. It's reversed. The people around you might perceive that it is time to put an end to something, but that you have not. Or that people might be aware of this occurrence, but their perceptions of it might be very different from yours. That they see it as an ending of some kind, something to be mourned, whereas you see it as a natural progression through a cycle. Because here in the future, we have this Queen of Pentacles, which is like the Empress card, fertile proliferation of resources. We have this little rabbit down here, very prolific. The Queen of Pentacles has some little goats on her throne, so it could be associated with the sign of Capricorn. This indicates in the future that there's going to be fruitfulness to some of your endeavors. Things that you might have started in the past, perhaps even with some seed money, are going to be developing, blossoming, and providing fruit, bearing fruit. Up here in your hopes and fears, and this is going to be juxtaposed against this Temperance card, so it could be an indicator of one's need for balance. We have that Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is an imbalanced card. It is about making off with resources. It is about underhanded dealings. It can be about deceptions, and it can be about self-deception. It does look like you are afraid of people perhaps trying to take advantage of you. And I don't necessarily see that here, but it is a possibility. In that case, if this is about a business situation, the Lover's card actually could be about a business partner who is ideally suited to you, somebody that you would be able to trust. And that crossing card of the Emperor is going to be all of the legal paperwork that you put into place to make sure that you maintain control over the situation. Here in the midheaven, Sagittarius, we have the Queen of Cups, and she's in the upright. So this is water of water energy. That Queen of Cups is somebody who is very maternal and nurturing toward others. Another passive queen, we have the passive Queen of Pentacles here and the Queen of Cups. But sometimes she keeps her own emotional states hidden so as not to make a fuss. That Queen of Cups could be somebody coming in to nurture you. It could be about your relationship with your mother or with your more passively nurturing parent, your more emotionally nurturing parent. Sometimes it's the mother. It's going to be the result of this wish fulfillment. So some of you, that might even be reconnecting with a mother who had become estranged, either by giving you up for adoption or later in life. Some of you may wish to become a parent, whether a mother or a father, and you're trying to set up the economic situation that is going to allow that to happen. And I think finally in the past you had gotten to a point where you would be able to support that. And the final outcome for this reading, where we see this Ten of Swords in the reverse, this being an outside person's perspective. This Knight of Pentacles showing up upright in the final outcome indicates that the money coming in quickly to you is not going to come to an end. That is going to continue in a different form. It might not be quite the same as before, but it will continue as it has been. So that is going to conclude the fire sign readings for this week. I'm going to go now over to the members side of the channel and do some crystal scrying with this chunk of obsidian. If that interests you, you are cordially invited. But of course, your presence here on the channel, whether you're just observing, whether you like, share, subscribe, click the little bell for notifications so you know when I'm going live, or if you comment in the live chat or on the videos, all of those things are so greatly appreciated.